Now, in that last video I made, it was primarily regarding changing your mind politically. And I want to make it very clear for everybody that you have the right to look at what's going on in the world and decide, I no longer want to affiliate with insert political party here. Maybe I want to dedicate time dipping my toe into the other political party. That is your right and that is your choice. And I hope along the way you decide whatever is comfortable for you, you make that choice for you. You're not peer pressured into doing it. You're not coaxed into doing it by someone else. You're not incentivized. You are looking at what's going on and you're saying, you know what? I no longer support this political party. I want to dip my toe over there. Or maybe I just want to say these political parties suck because they're not really doing anything of substance for me and where I live. So I'm going to take a break for a while. All of that is valid. There's one aspect of it that's not valid though. It's when you spend time, maybe a few years, being someone who is a part of insert political party here, and you decide you are going to campaign for a position of power, and you get that position of power, and you royally fuck over a collection of people who dedicated time caring enough about you to get you into that position, and after they catch you, after they investigate you, after they pull every skeleton imaginable out of your closet, you hightail it somewhere else in trying to get a new position of political power in the hopes that if you change your insert political party here to other insert political party here, it'll somehow make everyone see you as this new fresh face when you have the stink known by everybody with a brain around politics. Because I am not letting Lil Wayne cosplayer Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard get away with her latest shtick, because she's hightailed it out of Illinois and she's headed to Georgia with the hopes of being a part of the board of commissioners in Georgia by being a fucking Republican. Ousted Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has apparently not lost her appetite for elected office despite a long list of grievances, bills, and legal judgments left in her wake. The Democrat has qualified as a Republican candidate for a seat on the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Commissioners. It comes as WGN Investigates has learned Henyard's troubled time in Chicago's south suburbs now also includes a $10,000 judgment from a case filed by her former landlord. Janetta Hull, great name, accused Henyard, terrible name, and her boyfriend of failing to pay rent for her home she lived in while serving as Dalton's mayor. I'm relieved and excited to have this chapter of my life finally behind us. Hull's lawsuit accused Henyard and Kamal Woods, terrible name, of failing to pay rent and damaging the property. Court records show the couple failed to appear for trial, resulting in a $10,000 default judgment. Henyard's attorney says his client denies wrongdoing, because that's the greatest thing you could ever do with your track record, and missed the trial because she was out of the state. The attorney did not explain why Henyard chose to travel instead of attending the trial, whose date was set in December. Because when you are operating under the guise of making sure that you have all these legal troubles that you might want to get done before you try to hightail it somewhere else to try to garner some type of political power, you would want to make sure that you have it on record. Okay, I have to be back here for this, because if I'm not, there could be ramifications. And I can't think of a better, well, technically I can, it could be about $10 million of a ramification than $10,000 on your ass because you refused to show up to fight for whatever you needed to fight for in order to prove that you are an innocent person. But this woman has spent so much time not being innocent. She spent so much time being the perfect mascot for what's wrong with a lot of politicians. The easiest way to become corrupt, the easiest way to use power to corrupt, to game the system in your favor while ruining the lives of the people who voted for you. And you know, we can make fun of the people who voted for her, but you have to recognize that these people probably believed the smoke that she was puffing out. They probably thought this was going to be a leader. This was going to be somebody who cared about the city. This was going to be somebody who cared about the community. And all the while, she was taking money, having fun with that money. And when she got caught, she ran. When she got kicked out, she tried to fight it by any means necessary and eventually lost and no longer had any semblance of power. And now this dumbass went about going and saying, well, these Democrats, oh, there's a lot of corruption there. Oh, they're bad. They're so bad.
A lot of people are saying that people keep voting for Democrats or keep voting Democrat, but the Democrats aren't doing anything for the black community.
That's true.
So
I lived it. That's true.
You lived it. You
I
mean
lived it because I am a Democrat. I ran as a Democrat. And if you go check my voting record, that's what I always pull, a Democrat ballot. And Democrats really need some help. And I'm here to say it proudly that a lot of them don't belong in the seats that they're in. Residents have to really research them and stop listening because they say they're a Democrat don't mean they for you. Mm-hmm. They're normally for themselves. You have to really pay attention and change the narrative that we see right now.
right?
Because right now, Republicans are doing a good job to me.
Not recognizing she's a Democrat. So everything she was saying about Democrats, she was saying in front of a fucking mirror. And what hurt me at the time when she was saying these things were that small amount of conservatives that were like, oh, she's waking up. Oh, it's good that she's waking up. No, she's not waking up. She's trying to trick another group of dumbasses in the hope that those dumbasses don't recognize that she has a history. And I'm sorry, I'm not about to let that slide because I had to watch a woman ruin a group of people's lives, ruin the finances, take finances and spend it on herself, try to make it seem like none of that ever happened, and she's this prolific being who has all the keys to the kingdom, blowing smoke on a bunch of conservatives by saying the right things. Democrats evil, Democrats corrupt. They're saying all the right things to get that conservative base. That way, when you go to Georgia, which is known for being blue, you tend to try to do your best in fighting that uphill battle as a Republican.
Hasn't had much of a chance to establish roots. And she's going to be running against people who have far deeper roots in the community. And so that might actually end up being what is her undoing. It may not be because of her scandalous past, but it may be she hasn't lived long enough in this district.
And I'm sorry, but, and this is probably evil to say, this is probably something I wouldn't really say too much, but I hope you fail. I hope you fail in every political venture that you choose to engage in, because that's what you deserve. You don't deserve to have any position of power. You don't deserve to be in a position where you can actually hold stake over other people in terms of policy. You deserve to fail because you have a history of somebody who is not to be trusted. And that's not my fault. That's not you watching the videos fault. That's her own fault. Remember, this is the same woman who sat up here and tried to use the race card as a way to get out of trouble.
Shame to y'all self. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work.
As a way to criticize people who rightfully had a reason to criticize this woman. She is not to be trusted. She is not to be put into a position of power. And I don't know who's running for all these different spots in Georgia, but please do your due diligence about Tiffany Henyard, and you will come to understand a second chance should not be awarded to this woman. She does not deserve to be in a position of power. She's currently ducking and running $10,000 because she's that bad of a housekeeper. So you could just imagine what she would do if she was in charge of anything in regards to anything going on in Fulton County. If you value Fulton County, if you value Georgia, you wouldn't allow this bimbling dumbass to have any amount of power. And when we're talking about changing minds politically and doing better in the future and recognizing that one party bad, one party evil, this party's good, this party's wholesome, it would be best to sniff out potential liars, because while you'll have people who genuinely change their mind, you'll also have snakes in the grass who are just trying their hardest to cut any bait that they can in order to get ahead in front of everybody. And that is what she's doing. She has a track record of doing it, and I hope people recognize it before they just sit there and say, wow, I want to vote for you because of you saying all the right things. She's just blowing smoke in your ass in the hopes that you get the vote for her, much like a politician always does. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you'd be dumb enough to vote for her, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Mwah! Goodbye.